Hi guys, Sheri Ann Richerson from exoticgardening.com, and what you're looking at is salvia, and I'm going to show you the correct way to deadhead salvia and what salvia actually looks like when you do deadhead it. Now this is a perennial variety, and I don't know what happened right here, but either this was cut off incorrectly, the flowers were cut off incorrectly, or something ate this. I'm thinking, as much as it's done like this, that possibly it was incorrectly deadheaded, but I don't know that for a fact. Okay, this is what, I hope that's focusing in. This is what the faded salvia flowers look like. And they are on this long stem, and as you can see, then there is a set of leaves at the bottom of this. And this was cut off right at the base of where the faded flower was. The correct way to deadhead salvia would have been to go back. You see this set of leaves where there's new growth growing out? It would have been to go back and cut down right there where my finger is, as close as you can to where those leaves are coming out, and just take that whole stem away. And again, that's the correct way. It makes the plant look better, and when the plant regrows, those flowers are going to come out from down there, which, as you can see, this one is actually trying to come out and put on a new flower. Something else that I want to show you over here, salvia will regrow from the center. Do you guys see that? Where it's trying to regrow right there from the center. And this is, I'm not sure why my focus on this is off, but this is what salvia that has not been deadheaded actually looks like. It's not very pretty. There will be new flowers that grow on this, but again, it's just not very pretty. If you come over here where I've been deadheading this morning, you can see that there is a huge difference in how the plant looks once it's been deadheaded. Now this one had a lot of new flowers on it that were coming up, and I went ahead and deadheaded and took the dead growth off. Something else I had noticed, this salvia is really overgrown because it hasn't been deadheaded properly. So a problem that this one has, and I don't know if this is going to pick up on video very well. Can you see the white on the leaves? I believe that these perennial salvia are being affected by powdery mildew. I am not by any means an expert on plant diseases, and I had actually thought originally this was downy mildew, but I am pretty sure it's actually powdery mildew. Either way, they are both fungal diseases, so a fungicide would take care of either problem. However, we're going to talk about powdery mildew today because, as I said, up on doing a little bit of research, I'm pretty sure this is a powdery mildew. The spores are actually carried by the wind for this particular mildew, and it can slow plant growth. This is one of the mildews that will often affect vegetable plants as well, and can actually affect the fruiting. The spores can live in old vegetative material or weeds. They thrive in warm, dry climates and high humidity. And they also affect plants in the shady areas the most. Now, that's not to say that they can't affect plants in sunny areas, but it's the shady areas where they're most affected. Some ways that you can prevent having powdery mildew in your garden is to choose plants that are resistant to it. You can also increase the air circulation around these plants. Do you see how close together they have grown? As I am deadheading these plants, that is definitely increasing a little more air circulation. They're not laying on top of one another. So that's definitely going to help. And you also want to water in the early morning at ground level. Now, I know that there's been some overhead watering going on here with sprinklers, in part because the garden is so large and there are so few volunteers and staff. So, but overhead watering is not a good thing, and neither is watering at night. And I know a lot of people do it, but that allows the moisture to lay on the plant leaves overnight when the temperatures are cooler, and that allows disease to set in. You can use an organic fungicides on this, which would include things like sulfur, lime sulfur, neem oil. You can make your own out of baking soda or milk. If you want to make a baking soda spray, it is 1 teaspoon of baking soda to 1 quart of water. You want to mix that up really well, and you want to spray your plants, including the underside of the leaves, until all of the liquid is literally dripping off of the plants. That's the same thing you want to do with really any kind of spray. You want to spray it thoroughly, tops and bottoms of the plants, and just let it kind of drift, run off. If you want to make a milk spray, it is 1 part of milk to 10 parts of water. And again, just spray it. I want to pan over here a little bit to show you just how bad this is on this particular plant. Disease on plants comes about because, one, you have a susceptible plant. Now, the plant could be susceptible because it's weak. Maybe it's not getting the adequate amount of water, or maybe it's overcrowded, or there could be many, many reasons that a plant could become susceptible to disease. Your environment, you have favorable weather, or you are watering overhead, or some other problem that is allowing the plant to get the moisture to create the problem. And of course, a pathogen, fungi, a bacteria, virus, or even a nematode can cause disease in plants. So there are many things that can cause the problem. As I said, I am pretty sure that this was caused by overcrowding and overhead watering. I'm not positive about that, but that's what I really feel just looking at these plants. And again, initially when I saw this, I did think it was a downy mildew. I then decided it was indeed a powdery mildew. There is mildew on some of the stems. I was trying to see if any place I had my camera would actually let you see that. Okay. I don't know if you can see all the way down here, but there is, let me see if I can zoom in on that. Can you see the white powder on the leaves, or on the stems, I mean? That is powdery mildew. And that's something that you definitely don't want, not only because it makes the plant not look so pretty, but because it spreads. And as I said, it spreads by wind, so it can spread to other plants in the area. So anyway, I'm not going to show you on video how to actually take the cutting. I just wanted to show you where, and that's because it is really hard to keep my hands out of the way with a pair of scissors. So again, perennial salvia, and this is how you deadhead it, and this is the difference between plants that have been deadheaded versus plants that have not been deadheaded. Okay, so I needed to get out of the sunlight. I've been down here at Matter Park for several hours now, trying to deadhead and trying to get a little bit of water on this garden. And one last thing that I want to show you, because these scissors were used to prune the salvia that have the powdery mildew on them. So I have some hydrogen peroxide right here. Doesn't matter what brand. And what I'm going to do is just squirt it on the blades. And I don't know if you can see where it's just bubbling up, but I'm just going to squirt it on the blades like that and allow these to just dry. That way, hopefully it will kill everything. And if I end up using these scissors on something else, I don't have to worry about sterilizing them. Plus, what I like about hydrogen peroxide is you can use bleach. But bleach can actually damage plant material. So if you use bleach and you don't get it completely cleaned off, you have the potential that the next plant you cut is going to be affected. So this is why I use hydrogen peroxide, because you can pour hydrogen peroxide directly on a plant and it's actually not going to hurt it. So anytime you have cut any plant that is diseased, it is very important for you to clean your scissors. If you use gloves, clean those gloves. If you've just used your hands, wash your hands with hot soap and water, or spray your hands off with some peroxide if you don't have access to soap and water. I hope you will subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on another video. Have a great day.